Hello, Giants fans. Today I'm going to talk about 5 reasons why Daniel Jones is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield. And they're always going to be connected because last year, Baker Mayfield said after the draft, "I cannot believe the Giants took Daniel Jones. Blows my mind. Some people overthink it. That's where people go wrong. They forget you've got to win." That quote by Baker Mayfield was strange for many reasons. First of all, players do not usually talk about each other like that in the NFL, but it was especially strange because Baker Mayfield, the year before, was the first overall pick, and that pick was slammed by a lot of draft experts and a lot of people in the media because Mayfield was not expected to be drafted that high. The Cleveland Browns really went on a limb by drafting him that early. A lot of people thought Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, some other quarterbacks that were available, even Josh Rosen, had a lot more potential than Baker. So it was strange that he went after Daniel Jones in the quote, and they both had to battle adversity because of their draft selections. And Baker did have a very good rookie year. He broke the rookie touchdown record, but Daniel Jones had 3 less touchdowns in only 12 games, and I actually think he's a better player. So reason number 1 why he's a better player is he's a more accurate passer. If you look at this chart by Sports Info Solutions, Daniel Jones was actually the most accurate passer in the entire NFL, and he did not play with great receivers. A lot of his receivers last year were injured, so his completion percentage was a little bit lower, but he was first in the NFL in accuracy on passes with 20-plus air yards. Baker Mayfield was actually ranked 10th on that list. And Baker is a very accurate passer, but Jones is even more accurate. And last year, he proved it by passing for 24 touchdowns. If you extrapolate his stats over a 16-game season, he would have actually finished with 32 touchdowns, and he did not have a great supporting cast last year. His offensive line often let him down. He had a lot of injuries at wide receiver, so a lot of times in the starting lineup, he had Cody Latimer and Benny Fowler as his starting wide receivers, but he still put up 24 touchdowns. And in the games where he had a healthy plethora of weapons, he put up some incredible stats. He had a 5-touchdown performance at the end of the year against Washington. Baker Mayfield, on the other hand, threw for less touchdowns than Daniel Jones with a much better supporting cast. So last year, Baker Mayfield had Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr. as his starting wide receivers, and he only threw for 22 touchdowns. He really forced the issue. He had 21 interceptions, 9 more interceptions than Daniel Jones. He had a worse QBR as well. So Baker Mayfield did not have a very good second season, and especially when the going got tough, he really belted under the pressure. There was high expectations last year for the Cleveland Browns, but Baker Mayfield was the number 1 reason why the team did not make the playoffs. He really forced the issue with his interceptions, and they lost a lot of games because Baker simply wasn't good enough. And he was a great quarterback at Oklahoma, and he had NFL talent all around him. Daniel Jones did not have great talent at Duke. Another reason Daniel Jones is a better quarterback is he's much more athletic than Baker Mayfield. So Daniel Jones is underrated athletically. He actually ran a 4.68 40-yard dash, which is much faster than Baker Mayfield's 4.81 40-yard dash. Also, he ran 19 miles per hour on his rushing touchdown against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which was one of the fastest speeds ran last year. Next Gen Stats does a great job of kind of recording that data of how fast the players are running. And his run was faster than almost any quarterback in the NFL not named Kyler Murray or Lamar Jackson. So Baker Mayfield, on the other hand, was fast enough in college. He really was a very good scrambling quarterback at Oklahoma. But as you can see here, in the NFL, he's simply not fast enough to use his legs to make plays. Number 3, Daniel Jones is a better leader than Baker Mayfield. And Baker Mayfield, oftentimes after the games, he looked disheveled, he looked depressed. He was not leading by example. He really showed a lack of leadership, especially during his press conferences and what he was saying during and after the games. Daniel Jones, on the other hand, sort of like Eli Manning, always said the right thing. And you can tell Daniel Jones really cares about not throwing his teammates under the bus. He doesn't go back at anyone in the media because remember, the national media universally slammed Daniel Jones as a pick. Last year, in 2019, before the season, Baker Mayfield was seen on the Jumbotron at an Indians game chugging beer. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that. But that kind of attention seeking behavior is going to make it easy for critics to criticize you when you don't play well on the field. Daniel Jones, on the other hand, this offseason, heading into his second season, added 9 pounds of muscle. He led workouts with his teammates in Texas. So he is being a leader by, leading by example and doing the right thing. So I'm much happier with Daniel Jones than I would be with Baker Mayfield as the Giants starting quarterback. I don't think Baker Mayfield would be able to handle the New York media. Number 4, Daniel Jones is taller than Baker Mayfield. And I know a lot of people might say, oh, that's not a good reason to compare these players, but it really does matter if you are a taller quarterback. And I know there's some good examples recently of shorter quarterbacks having a lot of success, like Russell Wilson and Drew Brees. But in the last 30 years, NFL teams selected 69 quarterbacks in the first round, and only 4 of them were under 6'1", which is incredible. And that makes it much more difficult for Baker Mayfield to have a lot of success in the NFL because he has trouble seeing over the line. In college, he had to use a lot of scrambling to find those passing windows and to deliver the ball. But in the NFL, he's not able to scramble as effectively, and he's not able to avoid the pass rush as effectively as well. Cleveland did have a very poor offensive line last year, but I think a lot of the issues that Baker Mayfield ran into had to do with his height, and he's not able to just sit in the pocket like Daniel Jones would be able to deliver the football. So Baker Mayfield, I think his rookie season was much better, but teams started to figure out that if you keep him in the pocket, you can really take advantage of his height. But Daniel Jones, on the other hand, as you can see at Duke, they ran a lot of RPO plays out of shotgun, and he was very good in that kind of system. He was actually the best RPO quarterback in the entire NFL last season. He only had, I think, 18 passes in that small sample size, but he was very efficient on those throws. And you can tell, you can see over the line, he can really play in any scheme. He's not scheme dependent like Baker Mayfield or Kyler Murray, for example, because of his height. He's 6'5", and he could see over his alignment. But the last reason why I think Daniel Jones is a much better quarterback than Baker Mayfield is he's more mature. So Baker Mayfield really showed that he cannot handle adversity last year. When the going got tough, instead of rising up, he really started playing worse, and he started forcing the issue more. The Browns had great expectations last year. He had the best, in my opinion, the most talented receiver in the NFL, and Odell Beckham Jr. on his side, and he did not benefit from it because of his poor play. And I just think he is not a very mature sort.
Penalty happened and we're
The
behind
clock's
the
not
chains.
running.
No, stop saying but. I just told you the clock was running and we had a penalty. You want to give them the ball back? No, you don't play. You don't know it. That's just plain and
Were
simple.
you happy with that drive?
Was I happy with the drive? No, we didn't score points. It's the dumbest question you could ask. What?
What was that?
Yeah, so in conclusion, I would much rather have Daniel Jones as a quarterback, especially in the New York market, because he's mature, because he handles the press so well, just like Eli Manning. And I think playing under Eli Manning for one season is really going to help him, in the future with how to talk to the media, how to battle through adversity, how to lead by example, because he's not the most outspoken leader, just like Eli, but he leads by example. And you could tell that his teammates really love him and they rally around him. So in conclusion, Daniel Jones is better than Baker Mayfield. Not only did he put up better stats last year, but I like his tools. I think he's, taller, more athletic. He's more accurate, which is the most important thing for a quarterback to have, is accuracy. So I just think he's a much better player at this point. I want to thank my subscribers for liking my video. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. please turn on the bell icon, and please like this video. I really appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.